Welcome back to the Party Package. My name is Owen, and welcome back. Today we are talking about the Nashville Predators, a team that has been good, but has never really gotten to break that ceiling over the last few years. Of course, the closest they got to Stanley Cup success was in 2017 or 2017, because 2018 was the Capitals. 2017, where they lost in the finals to the back-to-back winning Pittsburgh Penguins, and ever since then they've been in the playoffs. I think they've only missed it 1 year out of those, and I guess the one time they lost in the qualifying round to the Coyotes. And they've just been a team that can't seem to get over a bump in the road, even though they seem to have a pretty good team. Now, let's talk about the good before the bad. What's the positives of this team? What's the pros? Well, they got a really good top two lines on offense. They got great 80-point guys on the first 64 by Granlund. But you got Duchesne and you got Forsberg, 80-point guys. Granlund's a solid center to put between those. Jeez, Cat. You got Tolvanen on the second line, a guy that can really grow and become a huge goal scorer. Johansson, 63 points. Great offensive there. Now they've picked up Nino Niederreiter from the Carolina Hurricanes this offseason. He's going to be, I think, a really good, solid fit into this team because he's bigger, he's a stronger guy. I think he's going to be a perfect fit for this hard-hitting, offensively physical team that's the in-your-face Smashville, Nashville hockey. And Tanner Jeannot, of course, breakout season last year. Sisson, Sanford, Tomasino. They've got a lot of guys on. The offense is amazing. In fact, it's pretty good. It's one of the better ones I've seen while doing these videos. Is that this team is really well put together overall. Then you look at defense. Of course, Nashville's been the king of the defensive hockey for the last who knows how many years now. I mean, every defenseman they seem to draft turns into a star. I mean, now they got Yossi, 96 points for a defenseman. I mean, holy cow. Dante Fabro looks to be becoming a stud. You got Ekholm and Carrier, whatever. Those two guys are always great. McDonough, the big pickup for the Lightning. I mean, he's a huge defenseman right there. And Boriecki, I mean, you can switch him and out for someone else. That Boriecki gets the job done, I guess. But, I mean, talk about defense. It's going to be hard to score against this team. And then it's backed up all by UC Saros with his breakout season last year. I mean, Saros showed just how he's incredible in that. Now they pick up Kevin Lankinen as well just to solidify that goaltending core. So I've been looking at this team, and I'm thinking to myself, what is wrong with this team that's put together? And I was looking at this team. What is wrong with them? What is the problem with this team? Why are they not succeeding? And at first I was like, well, it's kind of tough. Last season, of course, they lose to the Avalanche in the first round. I mean, who wasn't going to lose to the Avalanche in the first round? And then I started looking at more and more. I was like, well, what is wrong with this team? This is basically the same team around for the last couple seasons now. Duchesne, Johansson, Forsberg, Granlund. This has been kind of the same team. What has gone wrong with them? And I think what it comes down to is they are built similarly to the St. Louis Blues in style, where it's kind of like in-your-face hockey, physical, but also offensive and overpowering. That's what I would call as overpowering. When I look at the St. Louis Blues, I see a team that's strong and big and physical and that can play hockey with skill as anyone else, but they're also big and tall and they can hit. And I was thinking about it, I was like, that's kind of similar to the Nashville Predators, except the Blues do it better. And I started looking at it more. I was like, okay, but why does the Minnesota Wild get a better playoff spot than them? And I was like, the Wild have that offensive power as well. They've got a Kirill Kaprizov in there, and then you have a Kevin Fiala, and not there anymore. So I've come up with the problem with this team is two things: is that if they're going to be a little bit more watered down version of the St. Louis Blues, then they need to have that one more extra offensive powerhouse. And I was thinking, what would it be perfect? And I thought it would be perfect if they could bring in a Johnny Hockey. If they signed Johnny Gaudreau, I think that would have been the perfect fit for him and for the Predators. They need that one guy to put, instead of having Duchesne and Granlund, have like Duchesne go back to the center and put Gaudreau here, and I think you've got an amazing stacked first line there. Like, they needed a guy to come in who can get 100 points in the season and elevate everyone else's game. And I think Johnny Hockey would have been perfect for them. Now that Johnny Hockey's gone, who could they pick up? And I mean, there's a number of players. I mean, they could have gone for the Matthew Tkachuk sweepstakes, I guess. I mean, you could have like a Huberdeau type player. Like, they needed someone like a playmaker guy, one of those top scoring guys in the league that elevates everyone else's game. Because, I mean, they've got the perfect building blocks. They just need that one more guy to really bang home the team. And I also thought, well, what if they have that homegrown talent? Because what I also think is that Tomasino and Tolvanen and Jeannot, these guys are already incredible. What if those guys are the ones to elevate their games instead? What if Tolvanen, Jeannot, and Tomasino jump to that next level season? And what if they have it already? What if these top three lines are as good as each other? What if all these three lines, while these guys are young, and they still have the money to pay for all of them, what if they all elevate their games and Tomasino gets to, like, let's say 45 points, Jeannot gets to 60, and Tolvanen can get up to 40? I mean, this is a team that I see being unstoppable next season if that can happen, because defense and goaltending-wise, they're not touchable. I think they just need that extra oomph on offense. It's already good. Their offense is already great and strong. They're in the top, I think they were in the top half of the league in offensive scoring, and they were in the top half of goals against, depending on the way they were good, right? They have the perfect building blocks. They just need that extra start, that extra push to push them over that line. And it's going to be tough because it's already in a hard division with like the Minnesota Wild and the Blues and the Avalanche. I definitely see them being better than the Stars this year. I think they do win a playoff spot. Now, I think they win a playoff spot this season. I think they get the fourth, or they could slide into a third. I feel like the Minnesota Wild might not really fall off a cliff this season. I think with the loss of like Fiala, they could maybe slip down a little bit, and I could see this team, the way it's built, stepping up next season and becoming that number 3 team, maybe even number 2 if the Blues start falling off. But I definitely see them making the playoffs. But to get to the playoffs, what are they going to need to be successful? I think what they need is Tomasino and Tolvanen to make that next step. Jeannot, who was a surprise pick to become to break out, but Tolvanen and Tomasino, 23 points and 32 points. I think if they could both take that next step, Tolvanen get to 40, and Tomasino get to at least 40, I think that would make them as amazing. If Jeannot could take that extra step as well, then that would be incredible. If Trennan could maybe raise his game a little bit, if Cody Glass can bounce to the place that his draft, what his expectations were, I mean, this team could be absolutely phenomenal this year. With this well-rounded team, from offense, defense, and goaltending, this overall well-rounded team together could easily be a huge threat in this league this year. And I think if they could add, I don't know who it would be, but if they could find that one player, one of those superstar players that is there to push everyone else's offense, like a Huberdeau, like a Johnny Hockey, like one of those type of players, like just to give an example, not them, because of course they're not getting moved, they just moved to places, they're not going to get them. But if they could find one of those types of players in the league, I think this team could be absolutely incredible. They're already got the building blocks here to go to a playoff spot and maybe win around. I think this team could win around, and depending on how they come together, I could see this team going actually really far. They are so well-rounded, so deep. it would be hard for me not to see it otherwise. So I guess that's really all I have to say about the Nashville Predators for this video. So I guess until next time, please pick up your free subscription down below by hitting that red subscribe button. If you like to, after clicking it, hit the bell next to it to get further notifications about videos I post. If you leave a like if you like the video, don't leave a dislike. We go down below and leave any comments, concerns, suggestions, reviews, feedbacks, or other sorts of tangents, rants, and opinions you'd like to leave down below. And tell me, do you think the Nashville Predators are a legitimate threat this year, or do you see them kind of being where they are last year, where they're kind of in the middle and not really pushing? They're not really pushing the, what is it called? Whatever. Pushing the envelope. So leave that down below. Until next time, I've been Owen the Party. Too sweet, and ta-ta for now.